Hey friends, this is Ruby from Persona. Welcome to my kitchen. So today I'm making 3 recipes with 1 ingredient, and I chose fish. And I chose fish because persons don't really know what to do with it sometimes, so they don't, use it as much as they would like to. So I thought I would make 3 scrumptious dishes for you to try. I'm making snapper escabeche, which is very similar to snapper escabeche. It's basically fried fish that is smothered in pickled vegetables. Very delicious. Also making snapper en papillote, which is a snapper that's in parchment, also has lots of vegetables. This one's baked, takes about 15 minutes, so really great for like a weekday. The last thing that I'm making is a fish broth with the bones and the skin and the head of the fish, and that has lots of nutrients in there. You can make a nice broth and have that on a cold day. Also has in gelatin, so very good for the body, very nourishing for the body. So those are the 3 I'm making. Let's get started. Both in the snapper escabeche and the snapper en papillote, you want to julienne your vegetables. So that's basically cutting them into fine strips. I have already cut up onions, carrots, bell peppers, celery. I also have some green papaya here. And the last thing I'm going to do is leek. So just going to cut that up quickly. And cutting it in the julienne means that it's going to cook much faster, more evenly, and just it's prettier. All right, so this is our snapper. It's dressed, which means that it's cleaned and ready to go, descaled as well. If you don't know how to do it, just ask your fishmonger and they can do that for you. We're making 2 slits on each side. Actually, this is a bigger fish, so I'm going to do 3. And this will make the seasonings penetrate better and you'll have a lovely flavor. All right, and that's perfect. So that's what that looks like on either side. Seasoning time. I made my own seasoning for the fish. You don't have to. You can buy a pre-mixed seasoning. I just like to have control over what I put in there. So onion powder, garlic powder, celery salt, black pepper, paprika, and a little bit of ginger. Season the fish up really well. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to let this sit just for a few minutes, and then we are going to get frying. Our oil is ready, pan's nice and hot. All right, you know it's good when it's sizzling. So just leave it, let it crisp up for a few minutes, and then we're going to flip it continuously, every few minutes I should say actually, and that is going to make sure that it doesn't get burned, on either side, nice and brown and nice and crisp. So we're just leaving this for the time being. So the fish has been frying for about 20-25 minutes, nice and golden on both sides, so ready to come out. And then just as a by the way, if you're not into having the head on, you can definitely just take it off, that's fine. Our oil is heated. We're now going to saute our vegetables. I have some leeks. I'm not going to use all of it since I'm going to use some in the en papillote. Leeks are in. Carrots. Lots of bell pepper. Lots of beautiful colors here. Lots of nutrients. I'm gonna get some of the green ones in there. All right. Onion. And celery. We want this to be cooked, but not, you don't want it to be soft. So we want it to be just tender. I like to add just a pinch of salt. So I like to season at every step so that at the end you're not adding too much salt and each step has been seasoned so you have a flavorful dish overall. The other thing that I'm going to add is allspice. That's another secret ingredient in escabeche. sprig of thyme, and a touch of pepper. Now that we have our veggies all nicely chopped, we are going to get our parchment paper ready. Fold in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. Basically making it into a little heart. So I'm getting one of my pre-cut parchment paper. I have my fillet. Putting that on 1/2. Season it really well on either side. Using the same seasoning as the escovitch. And also basically the same vegetables, adding a few things like zucchini and fennel. And then everything else just lays on nicely. Leeks. It's all good going into the stock. Bit of thyme. And I do want a few pieces of lemon on there, so. Some melted butter that I'm going to brush around the side, and that's just going to help to create a tighter seal. And now we fold, making small pleats all around. And when you get to the bottom, you give it a twist. Snapper is in the parchment, placed on a baking sheet. Obviously my baking sheet is well used and well loved. And this goes into the oven, 375 for 15 minutes. Last dish, fish fumet. Very simple. Basically it's an all-in-one pot. We have cold water, we have the bones, and you can just ask this from your fish market or your supermarket as well. If they have, pieces of the fish that they don't need anymore and bones, all of that goes into the pot. And all of the ingredients that were kind of my scraps from earlier on, all going into the pot. You can also add wine. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like a little touch of wine in mine. I love the versatility of fish. It's quick, so easy to jazz up, and packed with nutrients. It's like a Hollywood triple threat. It doesn't take much to be the star of the show.